Well, hello everyone. It is time. I have successfully hit 100,000 subscribers on the main channel. Actually, it was a little while ago. We hit it I think like a month or two ago. And yeah, obviously, if you know, you know. If you hit 100,000 subscribers on the channel, YouTube will send you a little play button, and now it's actually a little one. Unfortunately, I hit it a little bit too late. They just shrunk the size for these in August. That's when they started shrinking it. But yeah, that's fine. It's what it stands for that matters, and not really the size. And honestly, if this was any bigger, I probably couldn't really fit it anyway. Anyways, yeah, let's just get to opening it, honestly. This has been actually sitting here for a while, because this thing actually arrived fairly early, I would say. I kind of expected this to take several months. This was here roughly 2 weeks, maybe even less than 2 weeks after I hit the milestone, which was really surprising. And now you might wonder, well, why didn't you open this yet? If you're wondering why, when I'm recording this basically 2 days after the GT4 100% video came out. And honestly, the simple and really stupid reason is because I didn't feel like I earned it yet. We just kind of passed the 100k milestone during the upload break that we had while we were working on the GT4 100% video, and to me it just didn't feel right to open this until the video is out. And also I used this kind of as motivation, and you know, because I was also working on the video nowhere near as hard as James, but I was still doing stuff for the video, and I used it as motivation to keep me going and to keep working on it. And yeah, now that it's out, I guess it's time. All right, let's get to opening this. Yeah, if you're wondering why there's marker all over, it's obviously because I didn't want to dox myself on camera. That would be bad. Okay, I guess in the meantime I can talk a little bit about the GT4 100% video, and honestly I got nothing but, yeah, I'm nothing but grateful, honestly. You guys received the video so well, you guys wrote so many nice comments. When I uploaded the video, comments were literally coming in every 5 seconds. It was actually impossible to keep up at the time of the upload. It's just been crazy, and comments have been flooding in ever since. Some people calling it the best YouTube video on YouTube, which is very high praise. But yeah, it's been just awesome to see, and yeah, I can't thank you all enough for all the praise. All right, so let's open this. In fact, you get to see it first. Oh. I thought we could I could go for a surprise money shot. No, there's actually a little bit of stuff in front. Anyways, maybe now. Oh, god damn it. Oh, that's a letter. Okay, I'll read this. I'll read this and a card. I'll read this. Actually, I'll read this now. Do you remember your first subscriber? Man, I think it must have been a friend of mine. Honestly, the thing is, the channel that hit 100,000 wasn't actually my very first channel. Some of you may not know this, but I've actually been on YouTube, and I've been making YouTube videos for well over a decade, which is probably crazy to hear, you know, but for the most part I just did it for basically nobody. I uploaded videos, I would say, for the better part of 8 to 10 years, just into the void. This is where I just uploaded stuff. Barely anyone watched it, maybe aside from a handful of viewers and friends. Nobody really watched my content. It's because the content frankly wasn't good enough. And I was also still very young, so that probably also had something to do with it. But yeah, this has been a decade-long journey for me to get to 100,000. And yeah, honestly, I got more to say later on, and I'll talk about it later. But yeah, let's read your letter. Remember your first subscriber, your 100th, or your 1000th subscriber. Chances are you do. I feel really bad because I don't think most... I don't, and in my defense, I don't think most people remember their 100th or 1000th subscriber. First one, maybe. And we know that you'll definitely remember your 100,000th subscriber. I mean, you remember the moment. Maybe this is what they were... Maybe that's more what they were referring to, the moment you hit these milestones. That I definitely do remember. Your fans may have found you while searching YouTube, learned about you through a friend, or maybe you showed up as a recommended video. No matter how they came to your channel, your audience stayed and their numbers increased because of you and the community you've built. We're proud to honor your impressive milestone of reaching 100,000 subscribers with a Silver Creator Award. Congratulations. We know that you have many more stories to share with your community, and we know your fans can't wait for you to amaze them even more with your commitment and creativity. So keep creating, keep building, we can't wait to see what you'll do next, and we're here to support you along the way. And who knows, When you reach your 1,000th subscriber, we may just write you and ask, do you remember your 100,000 subscriber? Yours truly, Neil Mohan, the new YouTube CEO. Interesting. So obviously this is a letter they sent to everyone. This isn't like a handwritten, you know, personally made letter. But I think that's still fine. I think it's still nice to just get some acknowledgement from YouTube. And I gotta also just say, for all the flack that YouTube, honestly, for the most part, just rightfully gets, I admire that they still do this, because they are doing this at a loss. Like, this was free. Like, I didn't have to pay for this. I didn't even have to pay for shipping. I didn't have to pay for customs, none of that. And YouTube has to keep making more of these every year, because there's more and more creators coming to the platform and reaching this milestone. And I honestly think it's cool that they just do this at a loss. At an insane loss, at a growing loss, just to like celebrate the creators that are on the platform. It's genuinely, I think, one of the last like pure things on the internet, and one of the last pure things that you know, it's just nice, and it's cool that YouTube is still doing this. And honestly, there's no other platform that does this. Twitter doesn't give you like a milestone for reaching a certain amount of followers. You get a middle finger from them, or Facebook, you know. I think only Twitch actually started doing this recently. I think Twitch introduced these kinds of awards this year. If you hit certain watch hours, YouTube really is the pioneer, and honestly, they've done this for so long that I can even forgive them that they are now shrinking the play button, and it is significantly smaller. I did actually see the old silver play button at another at a content creator event that I went to a couple months ago. It's a little bit smaller, but it's okay. Let's actually see the reveal. If I remove this, we can see it together. 3, 2, 1, pew! Oh, this is nice. That is nice. My god. To have one of my own is a wild feeling. Nice. This is cool. I love this, because honestly, not everyone has something like this. And it looks nice. Like, it's a little bit smaller than the one that I saw before, but I honestly think the size is still fine. Maybe this is copium. This is probably copium. But I actually think the size is still perfectly fine. And I still think it looks cool. I like the design. I'm glad that it didn't change the design, to be honest. But yeah, as to just continue my ramblings from earlier, this has been a more than 10th year long journey for me. And as with any long journey, you know, you'll have plenty of doubters, and I mean, also doubts from yourself along the way. I have had classmates that made fun of my videos and bullied me for it. I have had teachers that when I told them, you know, my dream job is YouTube, they would just kind of look at me and be like, why don't you just do something normal that's safe? Even had family members that were like, what are you doing? Why don't you just do something that's more safe and more normal? Why are you like this? You know, people that, I mean, it wasn't always like malicious. I don't want to say it was. Maybe from some classmates it was kind of malicious, but they were teenagers, so I don't really care anymore. But you know, from like family members and teachers, it was probably more concern, like, you know, hey, you know, this is like a really rare thing to pull off. But I still believed in myself, and I believed in the content that I made, and yeah, I think it all happened to work out in the end. One main thing that I really kept thinking about, especially with, you know, the 100,000 milestone and you know, the play button arriving, is, was this all really worth it? And I know this might sound kind of strange, because yeah, obviously it is worth it. But you know, it's always easy to look at other content creators and see them basically blow up out of nowhere, and they get, you know, this milestone, or maybe even milestones beyond this one, way sooner. Way sooner, like within a year or 2 years. And here I am, as I mentioned earlier, I've been on this journey for more than 10 years. And I kept thinking, like, you know, was all of this really worth it if it takes me this long? Maybe I should have stopped. Maybe I should have done something different. You know, maybe, you know, there's like a bunch of doubts that come up in your mind when you look at other people and see them, you know, just speedrunning YouTube, basically. But I stopped myself from thinking this way at some point and realized, like, hey, wait a moment. It's actually the opposite way. It's not more impressive that someone gets these milestones quickly. It's actually more impressive when someone is on this journey for so long and still perseveres and still gets this done. I think that is actually more impressive. And it's kind of something that I started to think when I was doing the Forza Tower map challenge. Maybe you caught it, but if you didn't, it was basically this map in Forza Horizon 5 where you have to climb this like massive tower. It took me, I think, over 400 attempts to beat it because there's no checkpoints or rewinds, so you have to just do everything in one perfect attempt. And during this stream, I said that, yeah, sure, it's impressive if people can beat such a difficult map within like very few attempts and in a very short amount of time. That's impressive. But I actually have more respect for people that take forever to beat this map, like that fall like hundreds if not thousands of times, and they play this map for days, for weeks, and then they still finish it. I think that is actually more of an accomplishment, and I have like a million times more respect, because that actually takes so much more perseverance, so much more patience. And I think the same way about this play button. I don't think I need to feel bad about having to take 10 years for something that takes other people maybe a year or less. It's quite the opposite, you know. I should feel proud that, you know, I've been on this journey for so long, and that I persevered, and that I, despite everything that's been thrown my way, despite how drastically my life changed over the years, despite all the people in my life that doubted me, despite all the people in my life that maybe even bullied me because of this, I still stuck with it, and I believed in myself. I believed in, you know, my abilities. I believed in my ideas, and now I made it. Now I made it. I mean, I've been making a living from YouTube for, I think, almost a little more than 2 years now, which, honestly, I think if you make a living off of your passion, you have officially made it. There's nothing left. And it's also the reason why I'm not, like, really, you know, pursuing anything in terms of, like, subscriber goals or whatever, because what else is there to achieve? I'm already making a living. This is, like, the absolute maximum you could achieve with something. And it's also something I'm really, really proud of. You may not have noticed, but maybe now that I'm pointing it out, maybe you do. But at the end of my videos, I never ask you to subscribe. There's like a lot of tactics that people use to get people to subscribe. You know, you might have seen people like show their stats and are like, oh, there's this many people that aren't subscribed, so make sure you subscribe. I never use any of these tricks, and I also never like prompt people to you know, subscribe. I never, like, this is what is basically called a call to action. When you tell people, hey, like the video, subscribe, blah, 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 do this, to that. The reason why I never did this before is, once again, because I already made it. Like, I honestly didn't think it was necessary, other than inflating my ego, but that's not necessary, I don't care. But the other reason, and this is, like, maybe more understandable, is because I wanted this to mean something. Because I felt like, if I had constantly told people, hey, subscribe at the end of the video, or even at the start of this video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe. To me, it just feels like people didn't subscribe at their own volition, but because I told them to. Because now I can actually look at this and be 100% convinced that every single individual of these 100,000 people subscribed because they wanted to. Not because I told them to, but because they saw something that they thought was amazing and inspired them or made them laugh or whatever, that they themselves hit the subscribe button at their own volition. And I think that is ultimately worth so much more than, you know, having 100,000 people subscribe simply because you told them to, and then they never tune into your videos ever again. That's why I never did this. That's why I never like did any of these call to actions. And now I can actually look at this and feel really, really proud to know that there's like 100,000 people that genuinely enjoyed my content to this degree that they decided to subscribe themselves. But yeah, once again, it's been a long journey, and I don't need to feel ashamed for it. In fact, I should feel proud. That it took me this long, and that I'm still here, and I made it this far. And honestly, I think you guys should feel the same. You know, I'm kind of like talking a lot about myself, but I kind of saying all of this in hopes that you reflect some of what I'm saying to your own life. You know, maybe there's something that you are doing that you're incredibly passionate about, that you've been at for like years, or maybe even longer. You know, never give up is basically what I would say, because I'm just a guy. I mean, if I wasn't just a guy, if I was someone truly special, I would have made it sooner. But I am just a guy. I'm just a regular guy. And I guess most of you are too. We're all just regular people, honestly. But just know that, you know, it's always worth sticking with a journey, whatever yours might be. At the end of the day, it's always going to be worth it when you actually get to where you want it to be. And in fact, it's actually going to feel better the longer it takes, is basically what I'm trying to get at here. It's going to feel way better. It's going to feel way more fulfilling. So keep at it. Never give up is basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah, before I end the video, I obviously want to give a big shout out to, honestly, everyone who has edited for my channel before. Obviously, first and foremost, James, who's put his heart and soul, especially into the last video, the GT4 100% challenge. but also all of my other editors. From the top of my head, we've had Jake, we've had Knight, we've had Harvey, we've had Kenosha, we've had I think actually those were all my editors that I had over the years. But yeah, thanks to all of them for making great, or helping put the content together in a watchable manner for the YouTube channel. But also thank you to all of my moderators, of which there's too many to name, unfortunately. Thank you to everyone who has supported me over the years through donations, Twitch subscriptions, YouTube memberships, Patreon, whatever it may be. And of course, thanks to every single one of you for watching, even if this may be the first video you ever seeing. Still appreciate it. And yeah, let's hope for many more awesome years to come, much more content that I can be proud of. And yeah, I guess that is it. Guys, thank you all so much for everything. I appreciate it all, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.